Hello, the fifth match of this season is here. Viver Military SD against N2D. Who will win this match if both teams really want to win? There are strong opponents, and there are weaker ones. But life is a fight, and you have to keep going. So, let's fight. As planned, the two of us enter two important starting buildings. We start this match on a high note. Ports, unfortunately, have been divided between alliances. But don't worry, this is just the beginning. Each attack took a chunk of the defenders, and the frantic support of random armies only sank him. Eventually, the port was bombarded and taken by us after a solid thrashing. After 10 minutes from the start, Casterly Rock could be occupied. The sprinters moved, and Casterly was finally in our possession. However, the sprinter could not hold on to it, so we took some steps. The exchange worked out perfectly. The first defenders arrived at Casterly after 1/12 of a second. Like clockwork, tic-tac. Now they tried to keep me busy. I've dug up two interesting reports from this spam, and this is the first one. Bar, thrown out of our port, tried his hand at soloing between attacks, and from my perspective, he did quite well. He hit the perfect moment when there were almost no spearmen in defense, and his commanders did a great job. Sonara, with her exclusive weapon, had a 30% chance for 3 additional attacks. 30%. Which allowed Darren to use his skills very often. Add to that his own exclusive weapon, as well as the bleeding effect imposed on my units. You could say that he made a massacre of the innocent. The second hit, which came 2 seconds later, was a surprise to me. In 2 seconds, I had enough support back to put up a fight, and after that support evaporated. Click, and it's gone. The female synergy under archers is a pretty solid fulcrum. Daenerys is probably the most interesting commander for this synergy. Maybe not the most valuable, but the most interesting. Her awakening ability triggers more often, and in tandem with Layla Mormont she deals solid damage. Cersei, on the other hand, deals much less damage than Daenerys, but gives a chance for a similar effect to disarm, making the opponent miss. These three, when combined, do a solid job in raids and other group fights. Taking advantage of the distance, the enemy sent several raids to retake their port. They succeeded, unfortunately. And the first salvo wiped him out of the port. Ogun, with Dina's protective shield, effectively protected himself from the enemy's basic attacks, but Petter was useless here. Disharmony status requires active commander skills, but Sonara blocks this possibility by imposing silence on her troops. Petter is the perfect commander against female synergy, but useless against bleeding synergy. I have to make a note of that myself. The last chance for the opponents to get something more during this match, and probably not today. The victory was certain earlier, but it's a shame they didn't try to fight until the end. This is the last scene of the match, after which I invite you to the after party. It was hard for me to say anything about the opponent, because before the fight all I knew about them was that they entered the matches in some numbers. The power of individual players didn't really mean anything to me, because they could always be loaded with an army that would increase it. After the fight I can admit that they had some really strong players, and a pretty good level of cooperation. The only thing that stuck in my mind during the fight against them was the saving of resources when they realized that they had no chance of winning. Not that I'm criticizing it in any way, I do the same thing myself. It's a waste of resources to lose battles. However, it's a bit of a shame. In the first half of the match, I was just having a great time. Thank you N2D for this great match, and also to you, my viewers, for watching this video. See you soon.